So look, it's my pleasure to give another update on the actions that we've been taking to move Memorial Field forward.
That's right.
And the key word is action, because for 2 weeks ago we started with the demolition of the grandstands, and as you can see, they're finally down. In the past, Mt Vernon paid $1.2 million to demolish these grandstands, and they still stood. And now we paid $190,000 and the grandstands are down. That goes to show you the extent of the corruption that was here, that we had to confront and constantly deal with. But the bottom line is we are moving Memorial Field forward. And I'm happy to say that you can see it with your own eyes. And what I can tell you is the bubble, reclaiming the tennis bubble, is another step and more evidence that we are breathing new life into the field. What I can focus on is telling you about reclaiming the property underneath the tennis bubble is critical and necessary for us to move forward with Memorial Field. As you can see, the retaining wall is encroaching upon the track. It is a breach of the IMA agreement with the county, and we have endeavored to move this problem out of the way as equitably, as responsibly, as politely as possible. But the problem is there's been no real progress in concluding these dialogues. Now, sadly, as is well documented, as I was saying, that former Mayor Davis unilaterally changed the plans for rebuilding Memorial Field. And he changed it in unconscionable ways. And what we know is millions were squandered. Millions are squandered, and the city now has to clean up a bigger mess. Nothing I can tell you right now is more important than making sure that we continue to focus on making sure that Mt Vernon moves forward with reclaiming our field. Now, a track with a 2-lane track is a walking path at best. You can't have sporting events there. You just can't. We made sure that we did everything we can do to reclaim the tennis facility by elevating the tennis facility and going back to Egmont Park. We got the approval of the state of New York to improve the facility. Egmont Park was abandoned. For 20 years. It is not ADA accessible, and these are part of the steps to bring new life to the field. We are going to have 6 tennis courts still, and as we are going forward, I want to make sure that we bring more facts to focus on negotiating with Keller Tennis on what we're doing to address the issues that we have here today. Our breach of contract issues stem from the fact that Keller Tennis did not pay any rent. They owe $500,000 in rent. And these are part of the problems that could not be resolved. And we extended several exit dates and several resolutions to Keller Tennis to find a way to resolve the $500,000 owed in back rent. Millions were spent on building this facility, and there's been no benefit to Mt Vernon. For example, no rent paid, no gas, no electric, no infrastructure. None of that paid but by our taxpayers. Now, our taxpayers have expressed satisfaction that we are moving forward with the redevelopment and the revitalization of Memorial Field. And the reason we took action so early in the morning was to secure the property. The reason we took action so early in the morning was to secure the property when it was empty, so that it could be done safely and not jeopardize any life whatsoever. The law department reviewed the full pages in all 4 corners of the contract that was executed with Keller Tennis, and they went forward to make sure that we executed and implemented measures within our contract. Now, Corporation Counsel Larry Picari is here to take questions if necessary. But I want to get to another point. Now, this other point is very important because you may be aware that we received a letter from County Executive George Latimer. And what I want to tell you about is that George Latimer wrote a letter about the future of Memorial Field and contentions that he has with respect to some of the issues here at Memorial Field. Now, I welcome the opportunity to partner with George Latimer and his administration. Now, what I can tell you is the following. I suggested to the county executive the following. One, the deviation that the administration, that the Davis administration brought forward should be fully investigated by the district attorney of Westchester County. The dumping of several thousand tons of illegal debris at our field should also be fully investigated by the district attorney of Westchester County. And the failure to complete the project after at least 7 years is another signal that politics has prevented progress here at Memorial Field, and we've been focused on action, and we invite the county to join us as we call for the district attorney to get fully involved and establish a clear understanding of what went wrong here. It will help establish if laws were broken. It will establish if tax dollars were stolen. And most importantly, it will identify those responsible for the obvious crimes that were committed, even that Legislator Williams indicated so. By bringing the district attorney, forward would afford residents the best assurance that the interests of our city, as well as the integrity of the process, is very well done. Now, the time has come to face the record and address any mistakes and rebuild Memorial Field. And my commitment, for which I do not apologize for, is to continue to demand action at Memorial Field. And I can tell you right now that look at the court, and we're going to be very clear that we're going to continue to move this city forward. So I'll invite Corporation Account McCarty to come up. We can talk about this. We'll answer questions from the press, and we'll take all questions from the press.
He's a thief. He's right along with you. You are a drunk in a bar.
Do you have any questions?
You don't defend our city for nothing. You don't know what's going on illegally.
We have a program here.
We're addressing this, and that's all I can say.
All I say is, I'm telling you, you're going to jail with your buddy standing right there.
Well, thankfully you put everything on Facebook. And 4 years ago, when you walked the hill through the school and committed to everything you were gonna complete, it's all on me. So thank you for always offering these press conferences. Please.
He's Donald Trump number 2.
On media. Bottom line, what you did was pure vandalism, and it's all on camera, and it's wrong. Bottom line.
Why'd you do it in the middle of the night?
Yeah, why in the middle of the
Corporation
night?
Counsel, if you want to take
Explain
that.
that. Were you listening?
We're
arrested.
Press.
Mr. Mayor, real quick, do I understand the plan is to take down the tennis courts that extend into the field?
That's correct, and move it back by
Move
about...
it back, rebuild it to the same number of courts,
another
but move it back. That way you could put in an 8-lane track. Right now you don't have room for a regulation track. If you move it back and rebuild it, which is the offer we originally made to Keeler, then you have your 8-lane track and you have the same number of courts, and they put the bubble back up and they're back in business. What's the timetable for that?
By
Originally, it was.
the fall.
Originally, we were looking at the fall, but
We were looking at the summer, but when the dates got extended, the construction schedule got pushed back.
Right.
And this is where, look, we don't have any more time to wait. Mount Vernon's been denied this facility for 10 years. And it's time to move forward. Make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. And we executed our right within the contracts, and we're moving forward.
On that point, obviously we know there's a lot of people here, and what's your response to them about?
My first question is, I'd love to know how many are Mount Vernon residents, because I definitely want to make sure our residents have their voice heard as well. And if our residents, the members that I met with earlier today, expressed deep satisfaction that we're finally getting action on getting the field reopened responsibly. And at the end of the day, our taxpayers are owed $500,000 in back rent. I don't know where else you can have a free business given to you. You can dump on a public park, and there be no actions taken to find anybody responsible for it. And also, as reported in the Journal News, it was a handshake deal after different representations that led to the dumping here. More importantly, some of that debris, from what we understand, was put under the tennis court. So we have an obligation to address it. So we're taking steps to make sure that we bring life back to this facility. We have the resources to get it done. And the bottom line is, you know, people are going to be passionate, but I'm more passionate about giving the park back to the people of Mount Vernon, period. We're gonna elevate the tennis facility by about 10 feet and move it back by about 40 feet so it connects to Egmont Park, and it'll be a level park, and it'll have the same 6 tennis courts.
These folks that have a contract
They do not have a contract with the city anymore. They've been revoked as of
These people, okay, their license was revoked for cause and
Who
for
revoked
other
the license?
reasons. We did. And we revoked it because they haven't paid rent in 4 years. They haven't paid for water. They haven't paid for the electric. They haven't paid for gas. They've never paid us anything.
How do you plan on attracting new businesses to
And,
Mount
you know, and that's just
Math.
facts are facts.
math. The numbers show. The numbers are clear.
How do you
I can't-
Hang on,
in the middle of the night?
hang on, wait a minute. So business. You know what? You're right. This is about business.
Yeah.
There's
And you-
tremendous amount. There are tremendous amounts of cost.
For goodness
There are
sake.
tremendous amounts of cost and no benefit to Mount Vernon.
Oh, really?
And when you look very hard at the numbers, you see that no rent was paid. The community's been unilaterally shut out, and we're taking all the steps to give the field back to the city of Mount Vernon and the people that deserve it. So what I can tell you right now is that math is very clear. No rent's been paid, and when you look at the numbers from Target and Best Buy, this area does demonstrate that it's good for business, and we fully expect that once this facility is restored, it will be a great destination for sporting events. And the recent acquisition of Yonkers Raceway Casino by MGM is another affirmation that the area is ripe for redevelopment. So we're focused on making sure that we take all steps to meet the market where it is and have our field ready for action late summer, early fall, based on the new delays. The folks at Kella, I'll defer to Corp Council to explain that they will give notice to vacate the facility. Corp Council.
Outside counsel gave them notice when negotiations, which took place over many months, broke down because they weren't interested in doing what we were asking them to do. So
Rent on that steel structure.
basically what happened was negotiations broke down. We sent them notification. We received notification. They didn't respond to that either. Instead, what they did was they put up surveillance equipment, and they decided not to take the bubble down because they thought that they thought that would keep us from removing them pursuant to the contract. The contract permits us to do what we did, and we did what we.
So the rent that was owed was for that zombie structure, correct?
So,
No, that is not correct, and further you know that's not correct.
You don't know those answers?
So I go back to Mount Vernon, and look, the passion that we have is all passion about making sure that our parks come back to life. And what I can assure you is, we're taking the steps to bring life back here. We expect tennis to be back in operation later this fall, but we got work to do, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to be distracted. We're not going to be discouraged. We're determined to get this done. And the bottom line is, Mount Vernon's been denied, its field. It's been denied its track. And with respect to tennis, most of Mount Vernon's been denied tennis at our own park. And the same thing goes for sports Underdome and the Ice Hutch, which is not really utilized by Mount Vernon residents. So this is a message to everybody. Mount Vernon is focused on the cost benefit of our parks, and we're going to make sure that we do everything within our power to bring business back to our parks and bring balance back to the use for our city residents. Without any more questions?
Hardly patronized by Mount Vernon residents. Is that they will only...
That's correct.
That's correct. It's because they haven't been paid.
Question, are you going to bulldoze the Target
contract,
garage
and they would not come
if
to
you
an
don't like what they
agreement
do?
with the city, which would permit us to do the work we must do here and then put them back the same way they were, except basically a few feet back that way. And they decided they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to participate in that. They wanted to continue to squat on public property, take space in a public park.
Take
And then
squat.
take
And
money
that's
from
zombie
people,
structures. You call that
and then
squatting.
take money from people.
You clearly.
All a deal. Like, you make it seem like they were operating as illegal enterprises. All they had was a contract.
Do you know how many children
So they weren't
playing in
doing
there?
this without the consent of the city. You understand?
Well, but this is part of the reason, and this is part of the reason why
You
there
show
was.
me in writing, I'm very sorry, Mr. Haney. You show me in writing where it says they have consent.
Wait, are
from
you
the
going to
city
bulldoze
to
the
stay-
Underdome or the Ice Hutch or the Target parking lot if
and
all of
not
a sudden
pay
you don't
rent,
like?
not pay electric.
Is that what's happening?
Yes.
That's how you do business? You bulldoze in the middle of the night?
An RFP will be issued to determine
Oh,
whether or not
it's
we
too
have the right
late.
operators at those facilities
But you
at the right
bulldoze
time.
in the middle of the night.
No need to bulldoze. We
Good luck
already made it clear
attracting an economy
that
and
there is an
future
RFP
business. Good luck.
that has been established in the event that we don't have the right operators at those other facilities.
Oh.
At the end of the day, if you don't pay
And
your
you're-
rent, you don't pay your electric, you don't pay your
Sounds
gas,
familiar.
you get evicted. You get
Sounds
thrown out.
familiar.
That's what's happening here. And we've spent months working to work out a deal.
You guys all
and
set?
we've been unable to
Can
reach
you
a deal.
admit that you-
And all these people that are here
Can you admit
are
that
more
Mount
than likely
Vernon-
not Mount Vernon residents, which I
Can
respect.
you admit this is a
that they
zombie
may have-
structure that you're
it-
expecting
No,
to rent?
no,
This
the
is a
zombie.
zombie
No, wait a minute.
structure.
Hold on. With respect
Okay,
to the
go.
zombie
Is there
structure,
electricity?
you're absolutely right. And you know what? We put forward plans, engineering plans, to try and get it repaired. And there was a will to spend $2.5 million to fix it. But for that same $2.5 million, we're going to restore Memorial Field, the entire park. So just know that we agree on getting this fixed and bringing it back to life. The unfortunate part is there's some inconveniences. We made that clear going back to February, and we did our best to work a deal with Keller Tennis, but unfortunately, they did not want to strike a deal. We revoked their license as effective May 1st. They had 30 days to vacate. We held to the time, and that's it. It's over. I invite you to come into the rest of Mount Vernon. I invite you to meet me anywhere throughout the city and talk to the residents of the city that's been denied their park. And I invite you to get to know the people that have been basically shut out, and we're doing everything we can to bring this back to life as soon as possible. But the bottom line is they were offered an opportunity. We were not able to reach a deal. We revoked the license. It's over. And we're moving forward. We will have an RFP go out to identify a new tennis operator, or recreation department will do it ourselves and we'll rent it out. I just look forward to making sure that we bring this park back to life for our community.
So the 15-year lease means nothing?
It's based on the contract, it's been revoked.
Their license
Okay, any other questions from the press?
in writing. They got notice under the contract.
And no judge has to decide on this?
No, it's a contract they signed under Mayor Davis, who signed it. They were represented by council, and they signed it.
Why gave you the right to tear down? That's what I want to know.
This is not in
No,
court.
Richard, I want to know from you. You get the
This
order
is,
that night.
like I said,
You the crackhead that stay up at night.
This is-
Excuse me?
yeah.
Tell us
This
why
is-
would you do that if it's in the court? You
Because
have
our
no
kids
right.
have been denied
Listen,
this
you're
park.
going to-
And our families in Mount Vernon deserve this park back. And the bottom line is we're taking steps to bring this back to life. And we're going to continue to bring life back here no matter what. And I don't believe that. I can tell you right now that I look forward. God is moving, and God is moving. No, he's working through it. So I keep praying for you, and I pray for your well-being. Thank you. I pray for your well-being.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Talk about the indictment?
Yep. I mean, look, it's important.
They're going to take those sorry waters
On how you
You're
read
crazy.
it.
You're bugged out.
message?
You need to go to
This is the message. The message is very clear. The message is very clear. We're taking our park back. Period. And we're going to build it back better than ever before. And we look forward to bringing it back so you can play tennis again, hopefully this fall. So we look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Dirty and
No.
ugly and